her face, then grip her up by the neck. What's up, bitch?
On December 29th, he and his brother were arrested by Romanian police as part of a rape and human trafficking investigation.
The Matrix has attacked me. My plan was to sow anarchy.
This is definitely a hit piece.
I don't care.
There's not a single female complaining.
Do you think there's not a single female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
Controversy Lab Show, Controversy Lab, Controversy Lab Show, Controversy Lab, Controversy Lab Show, da 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 da, boom, da doom, Controversy Lab. Hi guys, welcome to Controversy Lab today. I am RTJ.
And I'm Lakel House.
This is the great Lakel House. And today we're talking about the most hated man in the world.
I'm glad you're feeling it today, brother. Apparently. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Controversy Lab.
Where Controversy's key.
I'm your host, Lakel House.
I am the RTJ.
And he is obviously feeling himself today, which is good. Thank you for joining us, RTJ.
I'm here.
So as you guys may know, we have been missing for a while, because we got shadow banned. Well, not really shadow banned. We got legitimately banned.
Yeah.
Complaints. From YouTube. For those of you that don't know, our last video went viral, although we had some individuals that were butthurt about our content, so they reported us to YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Got
our video removed. How many views were we at before it got removed?
Like close to 300?
300,000, yeah.
Yeah, close to like 300.
On our way to 500,000 views.
On one video.
People, were so butthurt, so angry. We had a lot of haters in the beginning that said we would never blow up, we would never go anywhere. They didn't like our show. They said we sucked.
Early on, too.
Early on.
I remember that video.
And then we go viral. And on our way to 500,000, on average, we were averaging about 10,000, 20,000 views a day, on a low end. And so, the haters came out the woodworks and started reporting our content. So it's cool. No problem.
Haters gonna hate.
We're going to learn from this. We're going to grow from this. And it'll never happen again. So we got something planned for you guys. But with that being said, what are we talking about today for the people?
The most hated man in the world, Andrew Tate.
Well, we're right there with him.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
so two.
So what I've learned about what social media has created nowadays is the fact that everybody has an opinion, everybody wants to voice their opinion, but everybody doesn't want to hear other people's opinion if they are contrasting in regards to their opinion.
Yes, I agree with that. 100 million thousand%.
It's like people wake up and they seek out people who they don't agree with, and then want to complain about it, want to report your videos, It's the weirdest thing in the world, which is actually why this actual channel exists, and which is why it's called Controversy Lab. We came up with the concept because RTJ and me don't agree about a whole bunch of shit. We've been boys for over a decade. So, it's been that long, So, with that being said, we were like, let's create a show where we can show that you can have a differing perspective than your friends. You can argue about it, you can hash it out, and at the end of the day, you can still be friends. Which is the weirdest thing in the world.
I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna piggyback on that little small piece because if everybody in your group says the exact same thing, then there's something wrong with your group.
There's something wrong with your group, and there's something wrong with the mindsets of everybody in your group.
Yeah, because
you feel like you need to be around people who are in total agreement with everything that you think. That shows me that you're not, conscious and cognizant enough of your own masculinity to be able to stand on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you think something differently than me doesn't mean I have to think with how you think or believe. I think everybody should have a core base of respect for each other and have a core base of, maybe how you see the world as a whole, from a broad perspective. Now, as far as like the little nuances, I feel like I don't have to be friends with someone who thinks every single thing that I think and be in agreement with every single thing that I think. I think that when you see a bunch of people that have that kind of mindset, to me, it looks like it's a weak group to me.
That's a problem because who's going to grow in that group? Like, for you to throw something different at me, I have to listen to it, understand it, see where you're coming from, and then that allows me to grow because I get to see a different side of what I was thinking about.
And it shows that there's a group of people who actually are open to knowing that maybe my way of thinking and my reality isn't the only reality. Maybe there's other things that, I may not have thought of, So, and that's my thing. Like, I'm perfectly fine with somebody having a different perspective than me, because I will investigate their perspective and see if it's something that maybe I'm not seeing. And if I don't, I'll throw it away and keep it moving. Doesn't mean that I have to be at odds with the person I'm cool with. But with that being said, I feel like, to segue into Andrew Tate, I feel like that's the issue with a lot of people. They feel like just because you don't agree with what Andrew Tate says doesn't necessarily mean that you should develop this hate towards Andrew Tate or this dismay for him. Like, I hate him. People were celebrating him getting locked up before even taking the time to really thoroughly investigate the charges.
Yes.
Because you're innocent until proven guilty. So, with my perspectives, with seeing him get locked up, the first thing to me, when I heard the charges, I said, to me, it doesn't make sense. The man, owns a casino, very well off brother, has over 17, 18 exotic cars. Extensively, I've researched before this even happened.
Okay.
Seeing the way that he was making his money with online education, whether you agree with his online education form or not, those were some of the ways that he made money through his secret programs. Well, not secret programs, but a program where you can pay $5,000 and join his program. The first tier was you get invited out to Romania. You get to meet him in person. Then he launched one, I think that was like $50 a month or so, give or take, a subscription-based model. So you ask yourself, now, the allegations of what Tate is facing is rape and human trafficking.
Well, more specifically of human trafficking, sex trafficking.
Right.
So, and
But people have thrown around human trafficking.
yeah.
And then it's sex trafficking. And people confuse the two. So in this video, we're gonna break down the nuances between both and break down the nuances of what his charges exactly are.
Yes, because the sex trafficking part, like you said, is what get people really confused, and even me, I had to dive into exactly which one did he have, and I went to an old video of his where it's the coercion. I can even say it. The coercion part, and like how he explains the part of where he gets the women to agree with him, and he starts becoming real controlling of them.
So for those of you that don't know, the actual terminology and the title of the offense that they're saying is that they use the lover boy method.
Yes.
So before we go deep into that, I want to talk about. Say what?
Look into my eyes.
You stupid. Before we go deeper into that, I want to explain, why this is dangerous. Okay. Now, before we go deep into it, I want to say this explicitly, because people will take everything that we say, as we know from our audience, and they'll twist shit, and you'll hear shit, and you'll be like, "Oh, you said this, and you believe in." Let me clarify one thing before we go any further. I do not agree with rape.
No.
I believe that any man that rapes a woman should be sodomized. I feel like any man that rapes a woman should be castrated and sodomized and locked in a fucking hole, and I feel like he should have his ass beat every day the rest of his life. I feel like any man that rapes a woman, to me, is the lowest scum on the face of the planet, right? I would never defend someone who would rape a woman, ever, period. I do not agree with rape. I do not support rape, and I hate anyone that would ever think that they can force themselves on a woman. Let's clarify that first.
Yes. The sad part is we got to actually do that. We got to go into depth of.
This is the world we live in. That you have to go extensively in depth and say.
You just can't say I don't agree with it.
I do not agree or support rape in the least bit.
Yeah, I don't agree with it at all.
Period.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it one more time. I do not support rape in the least bit.
Yeah,
period.
Either do I. This is something that always made my skin crawl, and I don't see how people do it.
Exactly. So now, with that out of the way, moving forward, I will say this. The reason why the lover boy method is so dangerous, and I feel like it creates a problem, in modern societies, because there's so many different nuances and so many different titles of that are actually arising every single day that makes it to a point to where it makes you afraid to even engage in any type of physical interaction with a woman, not knowing the ramifications of the interaction. I'll give you another example. They've actually added a new classification of by deception. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the different nuances between rape by deception and lover boy method.
Okay.
So the lover boy method is when perpetrators woo victims with the prospect of loving relationships and then force them in abusive situations or slavery.
Which one is it?
This is the lover boy method.
Okay.
It's where perpetrators woo victims with the prospect of being into a relationship, and then they force them into abusive relationships or slavery. It's important that you actually really break that down and what it means. I'm going to go to the next one, which is rape by deception, which is a newer one that's becoming more popularized. Now, by deception could be, you could take a woman out, get a lobster dinner. You can buy her shoes. You can buy her clothes with the intentions to woo her. You can have sex with her and then wake up the next morning and tell her, you know what? This ain't working out. I just wanted to fuck you. I gave you a lobster dinner. Get the fuck out of my house. Legally, a woman can then go to the police and say that he raped me, which falls up under by deception, because you made her believe that you wanted a relationship, you wanted to date her, so you wooed her with a steak dinner, lobster dinner, fancy clothes, just to have sex with her. This is the reason why I say, now mind you, there's 13 to 14 different classifications of rape that I fully agree with, 100%. But I feel like when we have by deception and the lover boy method, I feel like it creates a very, very gray area where women can get engaged with sexual acts with a person, and if they don't like how they're being treated, they can turn around and say, oh, he raped me, and it falls up under the lover boy method.
Or rape by deception.
Or rape by deception. The lover boy method could really be, you meet a woman, you make her believe that you want to get in a relationship with her, running game on her. Does that really give a woman the right to turn around if the relationship doesn't go anywhere, for her to turn around and say that you raped her with the lover boy method and force you to be incarcerated for 20 years?
No, it don't. And here's the hard part. As a former athlete, like both of those fall up under those pretenses, because like say I fly to Milwaukee.
Right.
They have a basketball team. And I just get a chick, you know what? I'm here for the night. So I'm gonna go find me a chick. I'm single, find me a chick. I'm gonna take her out after the game and take her all these places, and we do the do, and then I bang out because I'm only there for a night.
And then she could legally
Say,
turn around and say that it was by deception. He made me believe that he liked me, he was into me, and just got sex and then darted.
no, I just need a company.
And this is why I say that these type of charges are dangerous. Now, as it relates to Andrew Tate, and we'll get back on Tate. So the thing is, what they're trying to allude to is they're saying that these women, that Andrew Tate, these 6 women, there's 6 women total, they're saying that Andrew Tate did this with these women, made them believe that he wanted to be in a relationship with them, made them believe that he wanted to be serious with them. They're alleging that not only did Tate have sex with all 6 of these women, but also people inside of his camp had sex with these women.
Okay.
Now, here's the gray area or the line, what they're trying to, allegedly what they're saying based on the information that's out currently. They're trying to say that Andrew Tate was running a cam video, like a cam company, like a sex cam.
Yeah.
Sex cam, webcam company.
Yeah.
So they're trying to say that Andrew Tate wooed these women into believing he wanted to be in a relationship with them, and then motivated these women to get involved with the sex cam business, which is how he made money from these women.
Okay.
Now, if this is true, now again, this is what's up in the air. This is allegedly what they're saying he was doing. If this is the case, does it really fall up under sex trafficking? Because when they say sex trafficking, human trafficking, throwing these different titles out there, it makes people believe, and they say, oh, a sex trafficking ring. It makes people believe, because he was arrested with 2 other individuals, 2 other women, and then his brother,
Okay.
Tristan. So it makes people believe and assume that he's out here mob boss style, has women, taking them, prostituting them out, has men coming to sleep with them, making money off of the transactions. That's what they're making. That's what they're making it sound like.
Yeah, that's the top layer and what it makes it sound like. And we all know that the media, that's whatever government entity that you're falling up under, they're going to do that first. so that way they can create a public opinion about you. So that way when something goes down, they already got that on you. And like we always seen before, this is the first thing that they're doing.
Because Romania is one of the most corrupt countries in the world, right?
Yeah.
Romania, and Andrew Tate has said it publicly that in Romania, you know, if you get charges, you know, you're facing charges that you can basically pay off the judicial system to get off for certain crimes. Which also means that any country, the United States of America, any other country,
sound like this country,
right, can hit up Romania and be like, "Hey, we need y'all to silence Mr. Tate." And people would say, "Well, why?"
Like this country.
People would say, "Well, why would they do that? It doesn't make sense." I believe he's really sex trafficking people. Why? Because Andrew Tate has publicly spoken out against the left, the wealthy left of society which he calls the matrix, which they control, and they're actually profiting off of, the working class Americans, right? Also, because his father allegedly was, a member of the CIA, and basically told him, never believe the news. There's a program that's created to brainwash you, and to always fall back on, your own knowledge and do your own research and educate yourself, and he got Andrew involved in chess, and Andrew became a chess champion at a very early age, very young man. So Andrew is actually a brilliant person.
Yeah, I watched that. I didn't know. I ain't gonna say I just found out, but I say like middle of last year, I found out he was actually a good fighter. Well, not a good fighter, but a fighter. And
yeah, kickboxing. He was a 4-time world kickboxing champion.
Yeah, I didn't even know that part, but like the guy has a very extensive background, and that's a bug. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
And just learning more and more about him, kind of like helped me, like we said earlier, helped me like see the other side of what's going down and what they're trying to do to him.
Right. And, people would say, well, why is it that you believe that Andrew Tate is actually in a position to where he's being targeted? And people would say, and, to me, that's what it looks like, right? And people would say, well, why do you believe he's being targeted? And what super elites are we talking about? Now, let's get one thing clear.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Tate was actually, if you would have checked Google Trends back when he was in his prime, back when they banned him from social media,
From the internet,
they banned him from bank accounts. They banned him from Uber. The brother couldn't even go order Uber Eats. Couldn't even order an Uber. But back then, when they banned him, it was under their speculation was this is going to silence him. This is going to stop Andrew Tate. He's a misogynist. This is going to stop him from perpetuating all this hate, so to speak. And so what happened was Andrew still found a way to, weasel his way back into the system. And it actually helped him tenfold. It actually helped his reach, and it made him blow up even bigger. You took your biggest shot, and I stood there menacingly. You know what I'm saying? And you can't silence me. And it made him more popular, right? With that being said, when you look at most individuals who are loud, speak against the government, speak against the left, these type of people typically are silenced. They're attacked. If they have degrees, their degrees are stripped from them, and they're naturally attacked. When you look at, three of the super elite families, in modern society, you have the Rothschilds, the Medici family, and it was the Vanderbilts.
That's all.
So the Vanderbilts actually went poor. They were multi-billionaires. They lost their wealth over 2 generations because they were a very loud family. So when you look at, the Medicis, you look at the Rothschilds, have you noticed any of them having a podcast? No. They're very silent. They're very quiet. They stay below the radar. So
except for that one daughter, the one great-great-granddaughter.
Which one?
She's the one that married the dude that was fresh out of jail. No, I'm sorry. She married the rapper. There's the one that married Jay Electronica, and they're going on 7 years now being married.
Who married Jay Electronica?
Kate Rothschild.
I'm not familiar with Kate Rothschild.
She's like one of the youngest Rothschilds today. That generation of she's the generation up under us, so to speak.
Oh, so she's a rebel.
Yes. Yeah. So she's like.
So I'm pretty sure mainstream media is probably dragging his ass through the fucking tabloids.
I mean, no, he got off cool.
How? Okay, he got off cool.
Yeah.
How do they refer to him in publications?
The dope smoking rapper.
Exactly. Thank you.
So, I mean, and I couldn't think of Jay Electronica.
Great play though, Jay Electronica, marrying a Rothschild. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's very
Great play,
brilliant.
brother.
Yeah, that's very, very brilliant. But we know him to be one of those. He's a higher educated black people. I'll say that. And I think he's also
He took like 20 years to drop a dope ass album, and that was the only album he dropped.
That was a Jay-Z featuring him album.
Right.
So, but no, I have. There's no families outside of that. I mean, there's no family mainstream. There's no families who built America, so to speak. Really doing anything public outside of her.
Right, but she's still not doing anything public. This is what I'm saying. She's not, doing a podcast, a YouTube channel, not speaking out publicly. They keep a very low profile, and it's sad. We live in a society now where if you have money, it's dangerous for you to speak out loud, against the narrative, to speak out loud against the mental brainwashing of modern society, right? Because you look at any person that's ever done that gets attacked or gets silenced. Anyone that speaks against.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yeah,
so we'll roll a clip. And some people say, well, I've never heard him talking about that. I just hear him being misogynistic. So we're going to roll a couple clips about Andrew Tate actually speaking out against the Matrix and modern society and brainwashing. Here's a clip.
A lot of people out here, it still amazes me, they believe the government care about them. What the government wants is slaves. Slavery's not gone anywhere, right? So the old school idea of slavery, let's talk about slavery. A government would get slaves, make them work for free, and build things. That's slavery. So they've stopped doing that now. So what do they do now? They get people, make them build things for money, but the government print all the money. So if a government can create as much as they want of something from thin air, and you'll give up your life for this thing they can create from thin air as much as they want, you are still their slave. That's it. You used to be a slave and you'd work all day, and at the end you got food in the house. Now you work all day, you get money, and you spend all your money on a food and a house. Slavery is still here, my friends. Nothing's changed, right? Nothing's changed. And what they want is they want slaves. They want slaves who are going to comply and pay their taxes. And whatever kind of indoctrination or societal programming they can instill inside of people to keep them doing that, they're going to do. Anything it takes to stop people waking up and realizing, whoa, the government's fucking me here. Let's forget Corona. Let's forget locking us all in our houses and taking our business away. I'm paying how much tax? What? They're helping me how much? If you actually wake up and look around you, you realize you're being destroyed in real time. The idea that government cares about them is a lie. The government is never going to tell you anything that's going to wake you up. The government's going to teach you things that are going to make you subservient and compliant. They're going to tell you all this crap about identifying as a panda and all this other shit is not an accident. When they can convince the average person on the street to pretend that some other person is a panda because they said so, you are fully in the slave mindset. Every single one of us, to some degree, is an empty vessel. We're all programmed. There's no such thing as escaping the slave mind. You must just, to some degree, understand who is programming you and understand if you really want those characteristics. Most people are repeating opinions, and I'm saying, where did you get that opinion from? They can't remember where they got it from. They don't know who even told them. They don't know why they so fervently believe in it. They're just told, they're programmed. You need to genuinely analyze your brain, defrag every single opinion you strongly have, and identify where it came from and if that person has your best interests at heart. And what they're trying to do, especially with young men, is program them, because we're all empty vessels. And what you have to do as an adult, as a parent, is to program your child stronger than all of society. It's not an easy job, because all of society, from the YouTube videos to the TV shows to the school, every single thing is trying to program them in one direction. You have to combat that, and that's not an easy job. And if you just sit there and get lazy about it, you will fucking lose. When Rome was losing, all they did was have endless circuses to keep you distracted from the losing war. The world we live in today, they try very hard to prevent you from creating your reality. You're constantly distracted by everything, and it's hard to focus on nearly anything. And they do that on purpose, because for you to go stand out in the rain and protest, that takes focus. They want you distracted. They want arguments in the household. They want blacks to hate the whites, Republicans to hate Democrats. They want us all argue with each other, for all of us to hate our neighbor, and us all to be so distracted and selfish and self-absorbed that we can't think beyond ourselves. That's what they're trying to do to us, and it's absolutely and utterly worked. There's very few of these people, and look what they've fucking done to the entire world. It's absolutely insane.
Existing inside of a system which is deliberately rigged to make the rich richer and for the poor to stay poor. And you can sit there and get upset about it. You can sit there and cry about it and say the system needs to change, which is what some people do. But I know That's a waste of time, right? That's futile. The best thing to do is to understand the rules of the game and find a way to win. So yes, the game is rigged. Yes, the rich are always going to get richer. Yes, the poor are always going to struggle. And that's the way the game is set up. So you still need to find the best move on the chessboard. There's no point sitting there saying, I want to play a different game, because that's never going to happen.
I was having a conversation with someone the other day. They were talking about Joe Biden and his relief checks. He gave out $1,400 to all the people in America because of Corona. And he's saying, don't you think he's good that he's helping the poor? I said, you think that helps the poor? Let's talk about this. You give 100 people a $1,400 check, right? Everyone understands you can't just leave it in the bank forever because of inflation. The value goes down, because what happens when they print trillions of dollars from the sky? The dollar becomes less valuable. And now we're living in a world right now where inflation's getting out of control, especially in America, right? In the last year, inflation's up like 6-7%. So no poor person is going to take that money and just leave it in the bank. They're going to either spend it or invest it. Let's say there's 100 poor people and the 100 poor people spend their money. What do they spend it with? Businesses. Who owns businesses? Rich people. Amazon, their stock price went up 30%. Why? Because people are getting stimulus checks and spending it on Amazon. It all went to the rich guy. And then they go, oh yeah, but what about if they invest it? Invest it where? Invest it in the stock market? That increases the stock price. Who owns the company? Rich people. You've made them richer. What if you and all your poor friends, 20 poor friends, it'd be more than 20, 200 poor friends, put all your money in together and bought one house between you? That still takes one house off the market and raises the property value of that area. Who already owns those expensive houses? Rich people. You can't stop making the rich richer. You cannot stop it. People inside the matrix don't understand what's happening. And they're going to sit there and go, but the government cares about me. He gave me $1,400. The government doesn't give a shit about you. The government is looking after its friends. The government gave all the slaves a little bit of pocket money so they can send it all to the rich guys. It's all a scam.
Even when I was going to school and they're sitting there going, you're not going to get a good job if you don't get good grades, I was the one sitting there going, you're a liar. Shut up. I just knew the teacher was lying. I knew school was bullshit. I knew college was bullshit. I knew university was a lie. I always knew it was a trick and a con. I didn't truly understand things to the level I understand them now. But I had an intrinsic understanding, and I think everybody does. If you're at a gas station and it's 3 a.m. and a Lambo pulls up and a guy gets out of it, you're thinking criminal, drug dealer, gangster. Yeah. You're not thinking, he has a uni degree. Because you're not going to think that. So when you see money, people don't even associate the money they see with university. But then they go, I want to make money, so I go to university. It doesn't make sense.
So school's a scam. And it's the biggest scam on earth. The reason it's a scam is because it operates in a vacuum. It operates in a vacuum because it cannot be fairly compared to any other service. So you can get a loan for school, but you can't use that money for anything else. Because if they were to open it up and put the school, the education system, into the fair market of capitalism, it would fail. If I were to give you $100,000 and say you can get a degree, or you can buy a crypto, or you can start your own business, or you can do anything you want with it, who's gonna choose a degree? Nobody! So they say you can only get the money if you use it for education, which allows it to operate inside of a vacuum. Because it operates inside of a vacuum, it is one of the few things on the planet which is allowed to be non-competitive. It's not competitive against any other investment. Everyone knows that. But you can only get the money for that. So you can't get the money to invest in anything else. So you end up doing it, learning something that is outdated, slow to learn. There's more, it doubly inflates. There's more degrees every single year, meaning the value of a degree decreases. And the price goes up every single year. So it's worth less each year. It costs more year on year. There's no other industry where you can even get away with that. You get wrecked, except for the educational system.
When I talk about the matrix, I'm talking about the systems which have been created by society, which are deliberately designed to enslave. And you're existing inside of a system which is deliberately rigged.
The matrix is trying to control your mind. They're very good at it.
Everything you see on TV is a control mechanism. They're trying to control you. They're trying to dampen your life force.
I always knew that the matrix existed.
The matrix is real.
I've literally escaped the matrix in nearly every form.
And the reason I call it the matrix is because a false reality is being projected onto humanity, and they do that by controlling narrative. We live in a world where I don't think the average person realizes how much they are lied to. It's all a lie. It's all a scam. Just go to work, pay your taxes. The news told you X, and now you are desperate. You will sit here for hours arguing that point. No, but I saw the news. A lot of people are completely empty vessels ready to be programmed. The things they're telling you to believe are not necessarily for your benefit.
To do is to understand the rules of the game and find a way to win. Yes, the rich are always going to get richer, and that's the way the game is set up, so you still need to find the best move on the chessboard. There's no point sitting there saying, I want to play a different game, because that's never going to happen.
You know, so, and again, just to piggyback on that before he transitions to the next talking point is, you know, like I said, like most individuals that are highly educated, doesn't matter, highly educated, wealthy, if you speak out against the narrative, you speak out against the government, you put a target on your back. You look at even Jordan Peterson.
Yes.
Jordan Peterson, a brilliant psychologist.
Brilliant guy.
Brilliant guy.
Yeah, he's actually like one of getting back to like having to listen to people that gives you the other side. He's one of those first guys that I listened to that gave me the other side and made me understand that, I do need to listen to other people outside of my own thoughts. When he dropped, when they want to call him misogynistic, that's the first thing they always go to, misogynistic.
You know, it's funny because number one, Jordan Peterson, they're trying to take his psychology degree because he's speaking out, right? Straight bullshit. But the point is, I agree. Anytime you speak out against the modern day structure or you try to critique women in any way, you're considered misogynistic. If you try to talk about male masculinity, you're misogynistic.
I don't understand. Like, I've always, like, I'll say this. Trying to figure out what male masculinity is versus what male masculinity, what is the other side of it? Like, there got to be like a female thing, right? But you never hear about that. We always hear about bring man down. Man shouldn't have confidence within themselves. Man, and that's a huge problem. When you start seeing guys being taken down because they're confident and they telling other men you should be confident also, and then they start getting brought down, that's a huge problem.
You know, and you know, the question is like, does it fit into the feminist agenda? Like what's the point in the idea behind trying to demasculinize? I was trying to stay from that, but yes.
I
mean, to demasculinize men, you know what I mean? Because it's
today's feminist movement.
And so many people, especially the young, you know, new generation, they'll say that, oh, women are oppressed. And I always ask, tell me one benefit or one right that a man has that a woman doesn't have in the modern society.
They can't.
Because there are none.
None
if you know of any, please feel free to hit them in the comment section below.
And
because I can tell you of quite a few that women have that men don't.
Oh, we know a lot of them.
So if anybody's oppressed,
we know a lot of them.
We know it's men.
Getting back to this case, an example, the lover boy method. That's a law against man just for liking a chick and then changing my mind.
Hell, even if you want to take advantage of her and not advantage like paper, but even if you want to fucking just get the box and dip, you're facing 20 years for that.
Shit. And then we can even go back to, remember when Cardi B first came out, she was telling people how she used to jack people.
How she used to actually drug men and then steal money from them.
Nobody said anything about that.
Nobody batted an eye. Let it, but
they laughed at it.
They laughed at it.
Said, man, shouldn't be so stupid.
Now, this is an actual fact. It's something she said that she did.
Yes.
Now, even though I don't agree with Rick Ross for the actual lyric, when he made a lyric talking about doing something similar to women using date drugs, he was drugged through the mud. And they were trying to cancel the brother. Which, you know, Rick, we should have thought about that line before we used it.
There's a lot of lines Rick should have thought about.
He should have thought about brother, I can't ride with you on that one.
A lot of lines he thought he said.
But, you know, it's a double standard.
Yes. So
we're going to go to a video. We're going to show the video clip of some of the women that they caught up with in Romania. You know, people would say that, you know, we should stop victim shaming. Now here's my issue that I have as it relates to, okay? I do not support. I don't for the life of me understand why women who actually get raped, why isn't it the first thing on your mind to go notify the police? So when you wait months and months and months and years before you actually say something, it's not that I don't, you know, believe the girls that are raped. My thing is I start to question the validity of the interaction. That is it that you were raped, or is it that, you know, you didn't like the sex and you later went home and thought about it. You and him got into it. And then it pushed you to make you want to use that against him. Like, oh, you know what? When we had sex, I kind of really didn't like it. So I'm going to go ahead and say it was. Because now that I thought about it, I really didn't like it. You feel me? So it's because there is no statute of limitation to.
I used to think the same way until there was a young lady who actually told me that. But let's go to the clip first.
Okay, we're going to the clip. Here's the clip.
Amelia began seeing Andrew in 2013. Due to fear of harassment from his fans, she is withholding her real name.
I always knew, even from back in the day, there was always things said bad about him. But when I'd seen him again in 2013, I thought, oh, all these rumours about him may be false because he's actually been really lovely. The first time I went around his house, because before it was like maybe 3-4 times we got on dates, we started to make out on the bed. Out of the blue, he literally just stopped what he was doing and just laid back. He said, I'm just contemplating whether I should rape you or not. And I promise you, within an instant, he changed. He just jumped straight on top of me, grabbed my throat, started suffocating me, strangling me. The more I didn't want to, it made him so much more aggressive, to the point where he was pinning me down, hurting me. The things he was saying to me, he was like, who do you belong to? Who do you belong to? And the more I couldn't say it, the more he'd hurt me. So I couldn't see an escape. And at that point, I just gave up. I just gave up. And then when it stopped, he went to the bathroom and acted as if it was normal. So I'm like, maybe I did. Did I want it? Did I not? I definitely said to him, please don't, and he told me shut the fuck up. Definitely got strangled. I definitely didn't want it. Did he think I wanted it? When you look back, the psychological warfare you have with yourself is like you couldn't even imagine. You wouldn't know, you wouldn't understand it unless you've been through it. Can't even say the damn words.
Have you since come to terms with the notion that that may not have been consensual, that may have been...
I know for a fact it wasn't consensual.
But it's hard to use the word.
Even though I know technically it's true, that did happen, that is what happened to me, I still don't like vocalizing it.
Amelia's method of coping with the alleged rapes was to pretend to herself that it was a normal relationship.
The abuse wasn't consensual because he knew I didn't want it, which he confirms in multiple voice messages and texts to me.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Turned me on. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. And all the women I've ever slept with, not a single one has ever bitched or complained like you are bitching and complaining now.
Every few months, Andrew would send me on a different number messages to remind me of how dangerous he was.
I thought I'd remind you of the caliber of man I am. I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet.
Scare tactics to make sure I wouldn't go anywhere, go to the police, wouldn't report, would always be under his control. It was always to remind me that he was there.
After 6 months, Amelia eventually left Andrew when she says she began to fear for her own life. In 2014, she also decided to report the incident to police, who logged it.
A year after, I got a phone call from a police officer from Hertfordshire Police. She said to me, we have 2 other girls that have come forward and said the exact same thing as you. Would you please be willing to come onto this investigation to make this case stronger? And without any hesitation, I said yes. And I thought, well, if there's 2 other girls, I'm not alone now. I'm not alone.
One of those women was Sally. She was 20 when Andrew Tate approached her for webcam work. Due to fears of harassment from his fan base, she is also withholding her real name.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work. So I was very, very nervous. Then that night, we were just sitting on the bed and Andrew punched me in my arm. I went to the bathroom and cried. It really, really hurt to have someone just hit me in the arm for no reason. I was very confused. Sorry. Sorry, I don't want to cry.
It's okay.
So then when I came out of the bathroom, he was super, super nice. Like, from what I remember, Andrew didn't have any alcohol at all. It was literally just me. That night we cuddled and we ended up having sex and I was really, really drunk. That was my first night. Then it was kind of like every single night I would work.
Were there any other instances where there was physical abuse?
He used to strangle us as well. There was another time when he came into the bedroom, me and the other girl, we would sleep in the same bed with Andrew, but at this time the girl had a partner, so she was not interested in Andrew at all. And I had gone to the shower, I came back and I noticed he was, like, I saw him raping her. And when he threatened to beat me up in the bathroom, and he said, "Oh, I don't give a fuck if you call the police, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you." That's kind of when I knew, I had to get out of there. I stopped working for Andrew about March, April time, and I went to the police shortly after that. Nothing was done, really. The other girl that he had raped, she went to the police, and then that's when they arrested him and took him into custody for like 2 days. When Andrew was arrested, we were taken in for a proper interview, and it kind of just got left. I would send emails asking them to update, I'd hear nothing back.
When we reached out to Hertfordshire Police about this, they had this to say. We acknowledge that there were some delays to the investigation. This was addressed at the time and apologies were made. The decision to prosecute based on the police's evidence would be up to the Crown Prosecution Service.
Unfortunately, they turned around and just said, "Oh, we can't continue this case anymore. It's just insufficient evidence."
You witnessed the rape occurring. Did that not count as evidence for them?
No. They openly said it's really, really difficult to prove rape. Very difficult.
The Crown Prosecution Service said, in this case, we carefully reviewed all the evidence provided by the police regarding each complainant and concluded it did not meet our legal test and there was no realistic prospect of a conviction. In the UK, only 1 in 100 reported rapes result in a charge, let alone a conviction.
Okay, what were you saying? What were your thoughts?
So, a young lady I know, she told me that she was raped twice by the same guy. And I'm like, yo, how the fuck does that happen? How you get raped twice by the same guy? And how she broke it down, I was like, shit. That makes sense because he made her feel like you don't know your body. So I know your body better than you. So I had to get you down and get you into it so that way you can allow me to have sex with you. And like, that's just me just verbatimly saying it. Like, that's not me. That's not the actual words that she used, but how he mentally brainwashed her into thinking that he didn't rape her.
I just hold on, wait. Your mic isn't a side recorder, brother.
My bad. That's what you were looking at.
Yeah, because I'm like,
okay, all right,
he's fucking up the audio.
All right, so the young lady that I know, when she told me that how she was raped, and how he brainwashed her into thinking that it was actually her fault and not him raping her. That's when I learned that okay, so there is ways where somebody can be raped and brainwashed and not want to go to. Because she was like, I didn't want to go to it because at first he made me feel like it was my fault. And then secondly, she was like, I didn't want to put another black man in jail. So there's that thing, and it's like, okay, cool, I can understand.
Okay, so here's certain points. So here's what I call bullshit.
Okay.
You didn't want to put a black man in jail. Fuck him.
I mean, yeah, like, I'm on the same stance as you are with that.
Right, so let me clarify that.
I think I did say that.
Yeah, let me clarify this to every single woman out there. If you've been raped by someone and you're unsure if you should actually go talk to the police and you're thinking about, I don't want to put a black man in jail. If you think that, you're worse than he is. And here's why I'll say that. I have to give you the strong talk. If you don't put him in jail, what you're doing is you're justifying in his mind that what he's doing is right and it's okay. And he's getting away with it. So what he's going to do is he's going to continue to do it to the next woman, the next woman, the next woman, the next woman. And then you also put him in a position to where what happens when there's a girl that actually tries to fight back? And now he becomes aggressive and abusive and he actually maybe kills somebody. So this is why I'm saying that, a situation where you feel like, oh, I don't want to put a black man in jail. He's a fucking monster. He deserves to be put in jail.
And that's what I told her. I said, you got to understand that you were not the first one. You weren't the first one.
Especially if he's that comfortable.
You have to protect the next one. Now that you know that this is something he does, you have to protect the next one. And that's what I was telling her. But she did open my eyes up to me seeing that, okay, it is a possibility that you could be raped and scared to come out about it.
I mean, yes, but here's I definitely can agree with that. But, my thing is, and I'm not a woman, okay? So let me clarify that. I'm not a woman, so I can't sit here and rationalize with, 100% and say that I can understand what it's like to be raped, and I understand what it's like to go through that and to totally break down their psychology, right?
Okay.
But what I am saying is I just personally don't understand how you can go through something as traumatic as that and then not turn around and immediately say, I know that was wrong. Let me at least go get a kit done, or go to the doctor, or call somebody, the police, say something. You know, for me, it's like it's the waiting part that gets me. Like, if somebody rapes you or somebody takes advantage of you, go call the police, get a police report, go to the hospital, get a rape kit done.
The rape kit part, what she was explaining to me, is extremely painful. So it's like I'm not
a pap smear.
Pap smears. I don't get pap smears, but I hear from women like how they're uncomfortable, they don't like it. Like, it's one of those things that I'm
pretty sure it's not as bad as getting.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
So to say that I'm not gonna, they hurt. But see, here's the reason why. And again,
they have to. Then a lot of women I hear say that, like, going through it again and again and again is one thing that they really don't want to do. But then going back to what we said earlier, you have to protect the next person. Like, take this. I hate to say this, but you got to take this for the team.
But this is why Andrew Tate was actually also attacked when he said that women should take and bear some responsibility for being raped. And this is why this is a very controversial perspective and viewpoint for a lot of people, where it's a lot of women do not want to have accountability for saying they put themselves in positions. Now, I will say, it is not your fault as a woman. It's not your fault. You can't control whether somebody actually decides to rape you or not. One of the girls actually said that when she was in Andrew Tate's room, they were making out, and then they were on the bed, and she said to him, well, I don't really want, I don't want to have sex. And then he said, well, it's okay, we're not going to have sex. And then she said they started kissing again, allegedly, and said that he allegedly laid backwards on the bed and said that, she said, what's wrong? What's going on? He said that I'm just debating if I should rape you or not. And then she says he allegedly jumped up, grabbed her, was choking her, and then began her yelling at her, cursing at her, things like that. So again, using that for an example, okay. Allegedly, if this actually did happen, if it happened, it's alleged. There's two sides to every story. But if this actually happened, a woman cannot control if the man is going to sit here and lay back and say, I'm just debating if I want to rape you, right? A woman can't control that. So I'm not saying that that's her fault. What I am saying is, for you to hear him say something like that, and still be there. He verbally, literally says to you, I'm debating if I want to grape you or not, and you're still there. She says that he jumped up quick and then grabbed her and then went through the whole process. My whole thing is, when he said that, why didn't you immediately jump up, get off the bed, and say, you know what, I'm leaving, grab your phone, dial 911. After the actual incident happened, there is no, I don't know what happened. He literally said to you, I'm debating if I'm going to rape you, choking you out, and he rapes you. If you're going to come forward now, why did not you do something in the moment right then?
Speaking on that specific situation, we have to back up a little bit. Like, women have to understand this about men. Like, we don't, like, making out is like, for us, is the lead up of we about to fuck.
Exactly.
So if you don't want to do something, if you want to have sex, and you have to, like, stop kissing on me, because if you tell me you don't want to have sex, but you keep kissing on me, unfortunately, in my pants, my dick is being told yes. Unfortunately, and not to say, like, I agree, and I'm with you, not to say that we're going, like, you are telling us to jump up on you. However, you got to understand how our mind works.
Yeah, all men, when it comes to kissing and making out, that's rounding third base, sliding home.
Home, yes.
And there's not
especially
many,
if you let me touch a titty.
Not many men are going to be able to be like, oh, you know what? Ha, I'm rock hard. You know what? We're going to go ahead and stop. Yeah. No, it doesn't work like that. And women want to believe that it does. So this is why, from a male's perspective, it'll be like, let's have some accountability. And I'll say, because you shouldn't be in the bedroom with a man making out and kissing and rubbing and touching if you have no intentions of having sex. There are not many men that are going to be able to pull in the reins.
Not a lot of them.
You know, we're talking about a 0.5% of men, Because if you kiss him the right way, and then he ready to go. You know what I mean?
If the air conditioner comes on,
right,
he might be ready to go.
Which is why he sits back and says, I'm debating if I want to rape you, which is wrong. But if that's what he said, it's 1,000% wrong. But I'm saying it just segues into what I'm saying. If allegedly, if she told him I don't want to have sex, and he's just agreeing, well, we're not going to have sex. If you're in the bedroom making out, know what he wants.
In the bed.
In the bed. I'm just saying, ladies, don't put yourself in those kind of situations to be making out.
Be mindful.
Be mindful. If you don't want to have sex, do not be making out with a brother. Don't be kissing on, don't be grabbing on his stuff. Because, I've been in situations where girls are like, I don't want to do anything. They initiate the kissing. They initiate the touching. They initiate the groping. And it's like, why are you even provoking me if you don't want to do anything? So, I mean, with that being said, do you believe that, Andrew Tate actually raped any of these girls? Before we go there, I want to show some text messages from Andrew Tate. Now in the beginning when all of this happened, I thought to myself, I really couldn't see Andrew Tate doing something like that. Now, but of course, you can't necessarily speak for what someone would do. I've seen, most guys that, they give off this persona like, oh, I love women, I protect women, I don't believe in. And I've actually seen text messages from dudes that girls have shown me, and I've heard, differing perspectives from women about the character of a person or a male that I may have known that I thought was a different type of character.
Same thing, yeah.
From dudes acting like they're balling, and then girls, pillow talking, be like, oh, he asked me for money. He asked me to help him pay his rent. So there's always two sides to every story.
He needed gas money.
Needing gas money. So we're going to go here. I'm going to show you guys a clip of the text messages between Andrew Tate, allegedly Andrew, and these women. We're also going to play some audio footage of him on the phone with these girls as well. Here's a clip.
They clearly didn't think a text from a man to a woman saying, I love you. I know what I do to you is abusive and controlling. To CPS, apparently, that's not enough. I did the bravest thing I think I ever done in my life, which was hell, 4 years of absolute hell, going through an investigation without anyone knowing, and basically to do it alone was all a waste.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Turn me on. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. And all the women I've ever slept with, not a single one has ever bitched or complained like you are bitching and complaining now. I thought I'd remind you of the caliber of man I am. I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet.
What I will say, it is interesting that, it does sound like Andrew Tate, but it doesn't sound like Andrew Tate. It's like, it sounds like him, but it could be somebody impersonating him. Who the fuck knows? I can't tell. Do you think it's Andrew?
I don't think it's him.
I think it is. I don't know. It's 50-50 for me. It's definitely 50-50 for me.
Yeah, to me, I would say it's more of 85-15. Of 85, it don't sound like him. Like 15, it might be him. Like I haven't heard him over the phone before, so I don't know how he sounds.
So what's interesting is because Andrew actually came out and made a statement and said that, the reason why this case got thrown out, these girls alleging that, they saw him rape another girl, because allegedly this girl who he raped, another girl walked out of the bathroom with, she says that the girl he raped had a boyfriend. And at some point, him and her may have been physical, but she started dating someone. And then she was like, no, I'm dating somebody. And he forcefully raped her. This is what the girl is alleging. But the thing is, the reason why this case was thrown out is because that the police actually uncovered audio notes, because audio trumps text.
Yes.
Saw audio notes of these girls, or heard audio notes of these girls going back and forth saying that, should we tell the police that we were all drunk? So this to the police looks like, okay, why didn't you guys tell us that after we've subpoenaed your phone records, we're digging into your phones, we're finding evidence that you guys are going back and forth and deciding what you guys should tell us, and you're talking about being drunk, but you never told us you guys were drunk. This makes you look bad. Don't sit on information like this. If it happens in the moment, go to the police, talk to the police. And this is a part of the accountability I'm talking about. Do not wait to go talk to the police. Let time pass, and now you guys are sending underhanded conversations to each other that makes it look like you're lying.
It makes it look. Makes it look like you're like plotting against him.
It makes it look like you're plotting against them.
Yeah.
And then so I don't understand why people, there's so many people that will hear me say, have accountability, have a little common sense, and look at the fact that if you know people are going to look at you and be like, maybe you're lying, don't give people ammunition or space to even think that.
Yeah.
Have the accountability to say, you know what? This happened. I don't support it. I didn't want it. I didn't like it. I'm going to do what I have to do to get this person off the street, to have this person accountable for what they did. And that way we wouldn't be in this situation. So now the girls on their side are saying, oh, the system failed us. Andrew's side is like, well, they're lying. I fired them. It's all about money. And in closing, I will point out that there was a similar situation where there was a girl who, had a boyfriend, yet she got caught at Andrew's house. It's getting out there. Somebody posted on social media. Her boyfriend sees it. And then she alleges to the boyfriend, oh, well, I'm kidnapped. I've been kidnapped. And so they actually brought, right. And so, which actually brought heat down on Tristan and Andrew. The only reason why they were able to prove their innocence is because they have cameras all around their house. So while this girl was alleging that they kidnapped her against her will, abusing her or whatever, raping her or whatever, she alleges, they went and said, we have video cameras. There's several girls over here. This one particular girl actually ordered pizza. And they showed the videotape, the video camera footage of her going outside to get pizza delivered, pick the pizza up, walk back inside. So they're like, if we kidnapped her, why would she come back inside with the pizza? With that being said, that's what?
Oh, I know what I was about to say, Chris. This kind of puts me in the mindset of I don't know if you remember during the summer when a young lady had said that Chris Brown raped her. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, here we go again with Chris Brown." But he said, "No, I got text messages of her asking to come back over."
And he had video footage, I think, too.
Yeah, but like nobody said to the lady, like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?" Or she didn't get in trouble for shit. But everybody was ready to ridicule. Everybody was ready to ridicule Chris Brown. Like the man in a grape situation, men have no power, no control at all. We always have to prove our innocence. I'm not gonna say we because I'm not a part of that community. Men always have to prove their innocence when it comes to stuff like that, and it's a shame that we got to do that. But I don't agree with graping.
Well, my thing is this. I feel like, as it relates to this whole incident with Andrew Tate, I definitely feel like this situation was planned and organized. Because, like, again, when the information first came out, they made it seem like he was like a part of the mob or like some mafia crime syndicate.
Or he had a RICO charge.
Something like that. Like, and I'm like, it just, to me, didn't make sense. I was like, he's making more money from his casino and from his online education. I don't feel like he's making all this money buying Bugattis with the money from sex trafficking.
With 6 women.
Right? I'm like, he would have to have hundreds, if not thousands of women.
In every country.
Every state. So when they said 6 women in the lover boy method, I was like.
Yeah. I think he's just a problem that he's a problem to them, they think, and he won't go away. Like he goes into his shell, or he goes into his corner for his punishment. But while he's in his punishment, he's getting ready to he's about to drop something else when he get out. And I think that's the only problem with it. And they just want him to go away.
I feel like this is a big, body shot to society for them saying that, listen, if you want to come out, you want to be openly misogynistic, if you want to, come out here talking shit about women, you want to do this, you want to do that, then we're showing you what we'll do. We will shut you the fuck down. We'll throw your ass in jail and throw the book at you. You know what I'm saying? It's a situation where I feel like even Andrew Tate himself came out and let people know this is pretty much a persona. The way that I am on camera. There have been people that have said that they see the difference in him on camera and off camera. Andrew Tate has said himself, the reason why he said he wins debates is because he basically says things in a very, very harsh way that is true, and you can't debate it. It's just you don't like the way that he said it.
Your emotions kick in.
Yeah. And then you have to ultimately agree with what he's saying. It's just that the way that he says it. You can't combat it because you know that it's true.
What's his name? Morgan Pearson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I gotta agree with everything he said. so yeah, and
so it's a persona, right?
Yeah,
he's a genius as it relates to marketing himself and making money online and getting attention for himself. Whether you like it or not, controversy is what's popular online.
Yeah,
you should check the minds of society. Society is the one that's telling us controversy online is popular. Our only viral, we can sit here and talk about, the wonders of the world. We can talk about how much we love our significant others or love your wife, and we won't get views. But the minute that we show a video in Cabo of a girl fighting and getting beat up and ultimately, unfortunately, losing her life, that video gets almost 500,000 views. So are we the problem, or is it society and the people? Is Tate the problem, or is it society and the people?
Society.
These are questions that we leave up for debate, right? So I mean, we'll end the episode there because the episode's getting kind of lengthy. What do you guys think about us going live? Because before in the beginning we thought about going live online. From the beginning, we was like, hey, when we get over 1,000 subs, we'll go live. Now we're at about 3,000 subs. I think that if we can get to 5,000 subs,
and we over 3,000.
I didn't even check what our subs
over
are.
3,000.
We've been suspended. I'm in the principal's office. How about 5,000 to 10,000? You think before we start going live?
Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think.
I think 10,000. You think we get to 10,000 subs, you should start going live, or what? 5?
And have phone calls. Let people call into the show.
Yeah, 5 or 10.
I think 10. I think I agree with you. I think 10.
I think 10,000. I think 10,000 is a great milestone for us to, and then we'll have a decent audience. I think that actually would probably continue to engage with us once we shake off these suspension cobwebs. You know what I mean, and get back in our algorithm.
Yeah, I think we. But I think 10 would be good. 10,000
subs. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're rocking with the campaign, if you're sensitive and you don't like
in the comment section.
If you're sensitive and you don't like controversial content, don't follow us. Don't like our content. Because we're trying to build an audience and a group of people who actually understand the importance of being able to hear out your colleagues, hear out your peers, to open up conversations. Our comment section is open. Both of us will begin to engage with the individuals in the comment section. We're going to open up the phone line to engage with individuals in the comment section. So the purpose of this channel, I reiterate again, is for us to perpetuate the fact that you can have differing perspectives from someone else, controversial, whatever. Talk it out. Hear the other person out. Debate back and forth. This is a platform we're trying to create to birth that type of narrative. And those are the only kind of people that we want in our community.
Remember you used to go to the barbershop and have them talk?
Yeah.
I missed that.
I missed that, bro. And we could hash it out. We could cuss each other out and turn around.
We'll be right back next Saturday.
We'll be right back next Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Laughing, joking.
Yeah, I missed the old barbershop talk.
This is real men, real women who are not afraid to voice their opinions, talk about how they feel. This is what this platform is for. So if you're sensitive, we don't want you here. Don't subscribe. Don't share our videos. We would appreciate if you kindly exit. So that being said, thank you guys for tuning in for this episode of Controversy Lab. Let us know in the comment section what you guys think. Do you think Andrew Tate did it? Do you think he's guilty? Do you think he unfortunately raped those women? Let us know in the comment section, how you feel. And again, in closing, we do not support. I don't support.
I don't support it at all.
So with that being said, you can't turn around and try to splash up the video and say you support, because I don't at all, not even close, right?
Yeah, I don't.
We'll let Rodney do the outro. Go ahead, do the outro, man. You just sit over there and do the outro.
Nah, because I was gonna say, okay. So I don't know. How does it go?
We're rapping. You forgot the outro? You've been gone that long? Did you don't remember the outro?
Thank you. Controversy out.
You guys put it in the Controversy Lab,